Good morning. My name is Mick Rogers from Axial Benefits Group in Boston. We've heard from so many of you over this crazy time with your thoughts, your questions, your anxieties, even that we thought it would be helpful to put together a quick series of, a small hand-picked, selected group of experts on a lot of the questions that we keep getting, and have them respond, to your questions. The questions are usually in the areas of employee benefits, retirement, employment law, HR practices, HR policies, or general finances. If you're anything like us, your email is getting flooded with COVID response emails. I know mine looks like a Twitter feed. And we just really wanted, I think, sort of get out of that email game and put some of this content on what we thought was a little bit easier format of quick video interviews. So this morning, we've got the luxury of tapping an expert from our own family, right? So most people think of Axial Benefits Group as, with our employee benefits, our healthcare expertise, the healthcare purchasing coalitions that we do. The fact is we also have one of the largest retirement practices, corporate retirement practices, 401ks in New England. And this morning we are joined by the gentleman that runs that practice, Jeff Sutton. So Jeff works for our sister company, Kraematon, and he's been part of the Axial family since 2018. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning, Mick. Thanks for having me.
Great. So we were talking offline about the amount of sort of volume of questions that you've been getting over the last couple of weeks. And the reality is that this CARES Act actually had some pretty significant impact into corporate 401k retirement plans, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And while some of those changes are too big for this format, I think what we thought today was we would focus on just one of the changes where an employer actually had to opt in for it, right? So we're talking about the corona-related distributions as it relates to corporate 401ks. What are they, Jeff?
Yeah, certainly. These are distribution options resulting from the CARES Act, which is a law that was signed into place on March 27th. And this is a temporary law designed to give people affected by the Corona-19 virus better access to their retirement funds this year. And retirement plans traditionally offer things like a loan and a hardship distribution option to participants, but these are some really good enhancements to those two plan features.
So who can get them? What kind of plans do they apply to?
Yeah, so these distribution features will apply to most retirement plans. So like your traditional 401k plan, your not-for-profit 403b plan, your government-sponsored 457 plan, as well as individual retirement accounts. Now, to be eligible, a participant must certify that they're a qualified individual as described by this law. And the good news is that the plan sponsor can rely solely on that certification. And the law defines a qualified individual as a participant, spouse, or dependent who have been diagnosed with the COVID-19 virus by a CDC-approved test. Now, the definition also is expanded to anyone facing financial consequences from the virus due to being quarantined or furloughed, laid off, or having their work hours or salary reduced. So also anyone able to work, Anyone unable to work as a result of childcare issues would also qualify. So it's a pretty broad range of people who would qualify under this rule.
That's helpful. But how do they differ from other distributions from retirement plans?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Mick, this legislation takes the current loan and hardship withdrawals and enhances them. So for the loan provision, the current law allows for a loan of $50,000 or 50% of your account balance, whichever is less, and you have up to 5 years to pay that loan back. Now, this new provision changes the limits to the lesser of $100,000 or 100% of your account balance. Now, you still have up to 5 years to pay the loan back, but you can delay your first payment for up to a year. So some pretty significant differences on that. As far as the hardship provision goes, you can take a withdrawal up to $100,000 to meet your immediate financial need. But unlike the traditional hardship withdrawal, you're not subject to the 10% early withdrawal penalty, and your federal income taxes can be spread out over 3 years. Again, really significant enhancement. For participants that are no longer working with the company, it might be best for them to roll their money into an IRA in order to be able to take advantage of these distribution features. But we suggest people talk to their financial advisor to get the right advice on how to utilize these features. And remember that these are short-term provisions, so this enhanced loan feature is currently available until September 22nd, and the enhanced hardship withdrawal is available till the end of 2020.
Okay, so there are provisions for paying these back.
Yeah, so that's another nice feature, that if you didn't need all the money, or if you find yourself in a position to be able to pay back the hardship withdrawal, the law allows you up to 3 years to pay back the distribution from the time the money was received.
Okay, great. So, last question is what does a plan sponsor need to do to allow these? Are these automatic, or is there actually action that they need to take?
Yeah, so these distribution enhancements are optional features, but almost all the plan sponsors that I've spoken with agree that these provisions are pretty important to have in their plan for added flexibility. An amendment will need to be added to the plan. The final deadline to amend is not required until December of 2022, but record keepers are already working with plan sponsors to add the amendment. So if your record keeper hasn't reached out to you, I would make a call and start that conversation.
Okay, great. Super helpful. Jeff, thank you very much for your time this morning. We'll make sure to include Jeff's contact in the clip for everyone. And again, I think the most important thing is, please be safe. It's priority number one right now in this crazy time, and keep your eyes open for other regular updates from this series as we go on. Thanks again, Jeff.
My pleasure, Mick.